Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here, and today we're going to make you a Windows 10 Pro 64-bit boot SD card using nothing more than the Steam Deck. Download my Windows 10 to go image first. The links will be in the description below. Then you're going to go and download Etcher. Click on the Linux 64-bit version and save it to your downloads. And we're also going to download the Wi-Fi drivers for Windows in advance. And we're going to save those to our downloads folder as well. Don't get the other drivers. We're going to do that later. There's a reason why we have to get these first. Okay, so now go ahead and plug in the SD card you wish to write to. And make sure it pops up under disks. Don't mount it. Run Etcher. You will need a password set up for your deck. If you don't have one already set up, go to the console and type PASSWD and set one. You're going to need it in just a minute. Verify that the proper device is your right device and then select the Win2Go image. And you can go ahead and ignore this Windows image warning. It's not going to matter. Hit continue. All right, we're verifying once again that that is the correct device. We're going to hit start and see how that window popped up in the back. Make sure you go back there and fill in that password. You're going to need it. Okay, great. Now the image should start to flash and there it goes. So what we're doing here is creating the bootable image, but it's going to be very small. It's only going to be 16 gigabytes of whatever the free space is on your card. So while we're waiting for that flash, we're going to go ahead and extract those Wi-Fi drivers, extract to auto folder, and we can go ahead and delete that zip. We don't need that anymore. And now we're pretty much ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and let this guy finish up, and then we will return and continue the tutorial. Okay, as we're finishing up, there will be a verification or validation pass once this is done flashing. Totally up to you whether you do it or not, but frankly, I recommend that you do it. So there you see it's validating now. I know that this card is good. I've done this 3 or 4 times now. Let's go ahead and skip that. And you'll see that it's there. Mount it and open it. If that goes away too fast, click right down there. And there you go. Now you can see that there is a Windows to go item in there. Let's go ahead to our downloads, grab this folder, and paste it right into the root of that mounted card. There you go. So now those drivers will be waiting for us when we get to Windows. Those are the only ones we have to have in order to get internet access so that we can go ahead and grab the rest of the drivers and finish our install on the Windows side. Let's go ahead and shut our deck down now. Then we're going to restart it by holding the volume down button and tapping the power button. Once you hear it beep, you can release it. You'll then be presented with the boot manager, and we're ready to boot off of our brand new SD card. And you'll know something's up when you see the little spinning circles at the bottom. There you go. Now you know that you're in Winland. Okay, so I'm going to chop up and speed up a whole bunch of this process. I won't take away anything that's important, but there's a whole bunch going on here. So let's zoom this along here. The speed of this install will drastically depend on how fast of a card you have. I am using a 128 gigabyte Extreme card. I recommend an Extreme card, at least 256 gigabytes or more. All right, so go ahead and set all this stuff up. This will probably be United States and US for a lot of you. Many of you would not be. We're not going to add a second keyboard layout unless you need it. Most people don't. And it's going to want you to connect to a network. Well, I have no network because, well, we're going to pretend I have no Ethernet. So we're going to say no, we're not going to connect to the internet. This is one of the reasons I chose Windows 10. No forced actions going on with Windows 10 here. Okay, so let's go to Steam Deck. Okay, that's not exactly true. There are some forced actions, but we're going to get around them. And we're going to set the password to nothing. You can name it whatever you want. I like Steam Deck. So here's the beginning of the forced stuff. We're going to go ahead and shut off all this tracking nonsense. Of course, it's all up to you whether you leave them on or not. I shut all this crap off. I certainly don't want Cortana. Go bye-bye. All right, now we're down to our final set of steps. We're going to speed this right up. All right, we're in Windows. Look at that. That was actually very, very easy. We do have some more stuff to do though. Remember I told you that we were writing a 16 gigabyte image to this very, very big card? It's almost full. And this is why we did not copy all the drivers, only this one. We're going to run setup and we're going to get ourselves our Wi-Fi up and running so that we can get on the internet. Pretty simple install here, nothing scary. Once we're done here, we can then get on the internet and finish getting our drivers. But we are going to have to do one more thing in order to have the room to install all this stuff. We need to expand the partition that has our Windows on it. So let's go ahead and get our Wi-Fi online first. There you go, all my Wi-Fi access points are available. I'm going to go ahead and connect to one, enter my key. Yep, you can be discoverable on the network, that's fine. Okay, now it's going to go ahead and install a bunch of drivers for some reason it couldn't do before I had internet access. We're going to go ahead and use Edge because we don't necessarily want to install anything else at this point. Actually, we really can't. There's not enough space to do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put a couple of pages up here. We're going to go to Steam Deck Windows drivers and get ourselves all ready to go to pull up all of our Windows drivers. And in the other window here, we are going to go to resize-c.com. Link will be in the description below. And we're going to download the portable version of this partition resizer tool. All right, we're going to open the folder up. We're going to right click and extract it. There's barely room to even do this. Okay, go ahead and enter that folder, go to x64 and double click this right here, DM resizer. Go ahead and accept the user account control. Give it a moment to work its magic. Okay, so you can see we have all this unallocated space and we have this little tiny C drive. Let's go ahead and expand this C drive to take up that extra space, move resize partition. We're going to go ahead and drag this thing out and give it as much space as humanly possible. I'm going to verify I got it all there. Good. Hit OK. And then hit apply changes. And in a few moments, boom, that partition will be resized and we now have plenty of free space. Awesome. There you go. Now we are only 12% full versus 99% full. Your numbers, of course, will vary depending on how big your SD card is. All right, now we can go ahead and grab the rest of the Windows drivers. Now I'm going to speed this up really fast, but I'm going to do every single step. You can slow the video down if you need to see what I'm up to. But for the most part, it's all listed on the Steam Windows driver page. And there's only a couple of oddball things that will happen during this whole process. If you can follow the instructions on that page, you're fine. Slow this video down if you need to. Avoid doing any reboots if asked. We're going to reboot when we're all done with all of this stuff. Okay, we're starting to finish this up. Okay. Of course, the big one is the GPU drivers, which is almost a half a gigabyte of space on its own, which is why we didn't try to grab all of these drivers and stuff it into that little tiny 16 gigabyte partition that was 99% full. All right, we're going to go ahead and run the AMD software. And of course, I'm going to speed this up too. There's no reason for us to sit here and look at the progress bar forever. We'll speed this guy up. You will see some flickering. And if you haven't already seen your screen turn sideways or freak out, during this process, you will see it tweak and freak out. Boom. This is probably what you're seeing sideways on your deck while you're doing this. Hopefully, you know, listen, it's not that big of a deal. You just turn your deck sideways. This is why a mouse and a keyboard is super helpful. All right, we're going to go ahead and let this do its last bit. Now let's go ahead and fix this problem. Right click in the bottom there, hit display settings, scroll down until you find display orientation and change it to landscape. Keep your changes and we are in great shape. We're going to go ahead and let it restart. And it will go ahead, I'm going to clip out the full reboot cycle. It will automatically boot to Windows at this point. You do not have to use the volume down plus power during this particular type of a reboot. All right, so there you go. I'm going to let this just run its regular speed. This is what you're going to experience every single time you boot Windows. So this is like we just inserted it, turned it on, did the boot manager, and we're starting it now that everything is all set up. Now, obviously, you have a lot more to do. You've got Steam to install, maybe Battle.net to install. You've probably got a whole bunch of other stuff to do. We're not going to go over any of that. We're not going to go over Glossy or any of that other stuff. My goal here was to get you into a working version of Windows that would not touch or monkey with your existing Steam OS. It exists completely separate and is completely workable without messing up anything on your deck. So all you have to do when you're done with Windows is shut it down, take your SD card out, put your regular micro SD card in for Steam Deck, and you are good to go. Listen, I hope this helped you out. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You guys know what to do. Leave a comment. Did this work out for you? Did it not work out for you? Please don't ask me to do this for Windows 11. This is the only Windows installer I'm going to do, folks. So please, you've got the idea. The whole trick here is to bypass using Rufus on Windows. I created the Windows to Go image for you ahead of time so that you wouldn't have to use a Windows machine to do so. I'm Shane R. Monroe. As always, thanks so much for watching. Your viewership means everything to me. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Take care.